March 31st. On a fine, warm West Australian autumn afternoon, the West Coast Eagles continued their unbeaten run over the neighbouring Dockers in the much-touted local derby. Glenn Jakovich, a unanimous best of field. Today, it is the longest road trip in football. The Bears cross the continent to play the Eagles.
Yes, round two and Saturday night football continues on 7 Sport. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the WACA Ground here in Perth. A perfect night for football, and it should be a great clash too between the West Coast Eagles, exciting winners last week, and so too were the Brisbane Bears. They defied the odds and the record books last week. They're going to have to do that again tonight if they're going to overcome the West Coast Eagles. 14 times they've tried, and they are yet to succeed. Will tonight be the night? Stay with us and find out. Round two, of course, continues over the next couple of days, and some big games coming your way. You'll see all the action on 7. Essendon plays Carlton at the MCG. Sydney plays host to Fremantle at the SCG, whilst on Monday, another big crowd puller at the MCG, and that is the clash between Collingwood and Melbourne.
The AFL Centenary Season, proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors Australia, Qantas, the Australian airline, Foster's Lager, Mobil, Nike, and McDonald's.
And joining me tonight, a man who is still pumped after Taxi Driver described him as a legend today. I thought that was a nice touch. Donald, good evening to you.
Good evening, Sandy.
Well, don't look like that. It was a wonderful touch.
Couldn't Gloria, the makeup girl, do something with
She's
that?
tried, and she's tried very hard. Tell us about the West Coast Eagles squad, because before we go any further, the Bears have had a few problems.
Have they?
What about the Eagles squad?
Well, the Eagles squad, they've got 3 new players in there. Downsborough, Lewis and Hart. Well, we all know about Lewis and Hart. They're excellent players, very experienced. They're replacing Turnbull, who did his ankle in the first quarter. Waterman's done a knee, and bad luck for young Chad Morrison. He was omitted, but it's a very strong defensive side as the Eagles.
And no doubt the Brisbane Bears will find that out. They were in fantastic form last week at the Gabba. That was against Footscray. They accounted for them very easily. It's going to be a very different story tonight for coach John Morby.
And as the opener said, it's a long way from Brisbane to Perth, and had it been the other way around, West Coast going up to Brisbane, I would have gone for Brisbane, but I don't think they're good enough. But coming in is young Justin Leppich, and we've also heard that Tristan Lynch, a late replacement, has come in for Craig McRae. Now, that's an interesting one, so we'll just have to find out what, because they don't have a reserve grade team here. Also, McLean's missing from the side last week. He's got a bad calf and he's not lining up.
So there it is, the Brisbane lineup. In fact, both sides are out on the ground. Dwayne Lamb is going to be our boundary rider tonight. We'll take a break, but when we come back, we'll find out just exactly what has happened to Craig McRae. Here at the WACA, all is in readiness for the big clash between the West Coast Eagles and the Brisbane Bears. Ideal night. We've got the umpires in charge of proceedings. Peter Carey is wearing number 8. Mark Nash is wearing 14, and number 2 is Grant Vernon. So plenty of experience here for the men in white tonight. And you can see the West Coast Eagles players wearing black armbands. That is in respect for the late father of Steve Malaxos. To our boundary rider, it's Dwayne Lamb, a former champ of the game. Dwayne, plenty of drama for the Brisbane Bears surrounding Craig McRae. What exactly is the problem?
Good evening, Sandy. Craig McRae, apparently Thursday night at training, he strained his groin, so not too serious, but it hasn't come up for tonight. And we'll also notice that Fletcher, I believe, is wearing out some headgear to protect the cut he received in the game last week. Conditions down here absolutely magnificent. No breeze to really talk about. There was some concern about the centre pitch area, but they've relayed some turf and it's looking absolutely magnificent. So I think we're in for a real great game. Bears are going to really push the Eagles tonight, I believe. But I'm still going to pick the Eagles at home.
Thank you, Dwayne. Yes, it looks as though this one could be a ripper. The Bears were great to watch last week in front of their home crowd at the Gabba. But this is a different scenario tonight. So we're set to go with the home side kicking to the left of screen. Marcus Clark hoping to get proceedings away for the Bears, going to the right, but it's picked up by Chris Lewis, the veteran of this Eagles side, as he pumps it down towards the forward line. No one able to take it cleanly. Banfield was there for a moment. Lambert gets clean bowled. Fuster's in trouble, tries to get the hand pass away. Now an opportunity for Kennedy, but he slips at the crucial stage. Out wide towards Darryl White.
White just chips it up towards centre wing. Got a couple of options there, and he finds Clark. Thought about going on with a hand pass. He played extremely well last week. And he goes short to Kennedy. Matthew Clark looks to have an exciting season as Kennedy goes long up towards full forward. He's a prodigious kicker of the football. Blurton looking to clear, defending from the back pocket. Just about got him, but he keeps it in play, almost dangerously so. Only for a moment, though. Now the boundary umpire comes around. We'll have a throw in their left forward pocket.
And Brisbane,
see the Eagles bench.
And Brisbane, Sandy, basically lining up the way they did last week, except Gowers is on the half-back flank. But otherwise, more or less, as I said earlier, the way they lined up.
Oh, cleverly done by Sean Hart. The first real shot at goal was hit the behind post. And so their resultant free kick will now go to the Eagles. And taking it down there, Mitchell White.
Hart was good in front of goals last week. Malcolm, he booted 5.
Yeah, terrific game. Marvellous. Comes across wide to McIntosh. Can run. Now looking to draw a play. He does that well to Evans. Evans chips in the Banfield direction and steps the mark. And Drew Banfield, unfortunately, the ball's gone out of bounds. So Andrew Gowers kicks the Bears back into attack. Coming in from the side is Lewis. Rolls over the back to Matera. Matera exciting. Goes onto his left side. Really did push the other players. Kicks it wide and falls to Evans.
Tony Evans tucked in the back pocket. Looks down towards Chris Lewis initially. Drew Banfield is there. So to Ian Downsborough. Undecided. He heads in towards the middle. Downsborough's drifted there. With him is Clark coming over the top. It's an effective spoil. Fletcher there, as we said, wearing the helmet tonight and finally socket off the ground.
Well, I think I'd get out of the way too if he was coming with those big biceps, wouldn't you?
Glenn Jakovich.
He does that quite often, doesn't he? He's very good at that.
What's up?
Brisbane bench. So from the throne, as you can see, a very pleasant night here in Perth. Fletcher gets caught. Lewis dashes through but loses the football. So too Clark, only for a moment. Evans towards the line with Fletcher and over once again.
So really a typical start here by the Eagles, trying to force the opposition wide. Boundary throw in, 65 metres around from the Bears' goals. Lyle and Clark tapped out cleverly. Fletcher with the helmet on, tries to get it going again. Fantastic hands from wide. Kick forward, cutting through is Blurt to Mainwaring. Under pressure, caught high. Gives it off to McKenna. McKenna again forced wide. Downsborough first there with the gloves. Tries to keep it in, he does, and is held after the disposal quite legitimately.
Clark threw him into the fence, and I thought Clark might have come off worse for wear there, but they're both up, and that's why the free kick.
Plays on quickly to Jakovich. Jakovich also felled after the kick. Play on, called the umpire. Kemp, Fletcher on hands and knees, does brilliantly in a tight situation. Kicks it high. Flyers want it. Big pack of 4. Lewis can't control it. Worsfold with the shepherd to Jakovich, already in the action. Turns onto his left foot and goes back in towards the centre. And a terrific mark there by Bartlett.
Oh, gee, there's some feeling in this game very early on as McAdam does it beautifully, threading it through to Lambert, who runs through the centre and looks up towards half-forward once again. Look out, Chris Mainwaring, because Roger Merrett was there, but he couldn't take it. Kennedy can. Stabs it in towards the pocket region. There's a too far left. And Lynch sees it sail over the line on the full. Alistair Lynch made a triumphant return last week. I'm sure his followers will be keen to see him do the same thing again tonight.
Oh, good running.
McKenna to Jakovich. Glenn Jakovich, great performer last week. Finds ball. At left half forward. Goes inside 50. Over the top, Bartlett couldn't take it. Donnelly was there and he was almost clean bowled. Now it's up into the defence of the Brisbane Bears. Dick Voss gets the hand pass away. They should get out of trouble once again up towards Kennedy, and he marks on the half-back flank.
Here's Matthew Kennedy, really a young veteran now, with a long kick. No exception. 65-metre drop punt. Blurton flies. McKenna stands his ground and gives it off to Blurton. Back to Downsborough. Downsborough goes back to centre half forward. Kicks forward. Clash coming here. Fantastic work by both players then going at the football. Young Bartlett coming back at it. and that's worthy of a bounce there. Fantastic stuff, Don Scott.
My word, and this crowd certainly getting involved as well, and the players living up to what we expected of this game. Bears really going at it.
So Peter Carey puts it down just right on the 50-metre line. A number of players around the footy, and there'll be another ball up virtually in the same spot. So the ball has moved quite quickly from one end to the other. Bears just have the slight advantage in attacking moves at the moment, and a third bounce will take place. So the Bears players trying to pull themselves out there, instructing everyone to just back off a bit. The Eagles want to force many packs as they can there.
Oh, too high.
In underneath. Quick kick forward again. Pushing and shoving. Pretty good body work by Scott. Not good enough. Play it cool, play on. Ball goes to ground. Oh, falls out to Mainwaring. Mainwaring goes long. Players come fly. Bartlett.
Mark, surely.
What a fantastic
Great
mark from the youngster.
My word.
Yes, Peter Carey coming across.
Oh, but what he did earlier when he backed into the pack, that is terrific. Oh, is he coming of age?
He kicks down towards his ruckman Clark. Oh, the big man does it beautifully too. The agility across to McAdam, wider to Lambert. The Bears out of trouble from the half-back line up towards Hart. With him is Blurton, the two number 32s. They jostle for it on the ground and lock it up by McKenna over the top, and the bounce will take place.
Got a bit of class about him too, Blurton. There he is getting up, playing in the back pocket. Ashley Blurton.
65 metres out from the Bears scoring zone. Big Roger Merrett there. Slowly going game by game towards the 300 as Lambert pumps it high again. Now they're inside 50. Down towards Lynch at half forward. Off the ground, soccer towards goal. It goes across the face coming from Nigel Lappin and finishes over the line.
It's well read by Lappin. Coming in. Lynch was fighting there. Ball to ground.
Right forward pocket. The Bears in attack. And goals hard to come by. Early on as Darryl White caught one as he gives it back towards Lappin again. He's 52 metres out from goal. It's a long kick in towards full forward. No one able to take it for the Brisbane Bears, but it's sung it up the ground for the first goal of the night.
Ross Squire has a reputation for quality personalised site-built framed homes. Our services include site evaluations, designs, fixed price quotations and the building of your new home if required to any stage. We can supply a range of quality BHP building products and materials for whatever design you choose. We can even take care of transport and insurance. And our owner-built kit homes come with full manufacturer's guarantees. Ross Squire Kit Homes for excellence in design and manufacture with full after-sales service.
Oh, the Brisbane Bears and Alistair Lynch as he continues on again, and Clark sends them down to half forward once more.
Merrett in front and has accepted that mark. McIntosh behind, and Roger Merrett with that quick kick out the centre.
Really, that's the way forwards like it delivered. As Clark had got it down. It was a bit of a turnover. He received it back again and then sent it long and deep into the forward line. There he is, Matthew Clark. The OG last week up in Brisbane.
Yes, Roger Merrett, 298 games, 149 for both Essendon and the Bears. The leading goal kicker at the Bears and also leading games tally. Comes in from 30 metres out and has kicked the Bears second. So, terrific start here by the Bears. They really have had the ball in their 50-metre lines many more times than the Eagles at this stage of the game.
And they're capitalising too, as we can see there. Here it is, the first bounce. Clark gets it down. Well done by Banfield coming through. Spilt the ball. Fletcher turns it over. But in front is Merrett.
So great start by Brisbane. Clark and Downs will do battle again. It's won by Clark. He's carrying on from where he left off last week. This time socket down towards right half forward though. Chris Scott leads in the race, showing plenty of pace as the Norwich Rising Star winner of a couple of years ago. Being pressured towards the line, but he keeps his head over the ball and does it well. Finally finds a teammate in Andy Gowes. Gowes has a look up towards centre wing. Jakovich starts the chase, but he's going to have to be quick because Hart's there with him and he's got front spot at the moment. Runs into a brick wall close to the boundary line. And the umpire comes in, that's umpire Grant Vernon, to take charge. positive start by the Brisbane Bears with 2 early goals. Lynch and Roger Merrett, they're 2 key men up forward, but of course there's a long way to go. Holding on there, that's going against the Bears, so a chance to relieve some of the pressure to be taken by Tony Evans. Evans goes towards Lewis, couldn't quite pull it in with the one hand, and it's over the boundary line. He's getting plenty of publicity, Malcolm, as being the only player who's still around after the side began.
10 seasons. Magnificent effort.
Yes, it is. 10 seasons, couple of premierships, great performance by the West Coast Eagles. Merrett, clever tap out to Hart. Hart goes up towards half forward, passes Lambert. It could be tapped back to him. He's still outside 50. Lambert wobbles a punt kick, but it's not good. It goes straight to McKenna. He's got support in Evans. Evans has a look up towards Banfield.
Well done, Lappin.
And here he is, Lappin again. A turnover for the West Coast Eagles. Back to Lappin. He has a look down forward. Lynch is not there because he just gave it to him. Fletcher couldn't quite take the mark.
Oh, really?
Is he going to be paid?
There's a free kick. The umpire indicating he was pushed. Watch here.
What do you think, Don?
I wouldn't have paid it, Sandy.
So Fletcher getting a shot in the right forward pocket. He's inside 50. He's on a tight angle.
Must be cold out there too because the umpire's wearing long sleeves.
Made his debut with Geelong back in '89, and that's a lovely kick for goal.
Margin to the Bears. Downsborough gets a quick kick forward. Donnelly first there. Gives it off beautifully to Fuster. Fuster from 40 metres out shoots and has missed. So it could have been a quick reply there from the Eagles side. And the youngster just playing his second game, Brendan Fuster. And high hopes from the Eagles camp. Kicked in by Voss. Oh, that's a magnificent kick to Hart. Really sets him off running. There's play up the middle. This is a set play beautifully. Quick kick forward by Dick Voss. Merrett to ground. Coming in to help Worsfold. Lynch grabs hold of it. Taps it out to wide. And under extreme pressure from the Eagles players, they break it up to Worsfold. And Worsfold relieves. Comes out wide to the wing. One-on-one contest here. Ashcroft does well on Matera. Has support inside from Scott to Lambert. Oh, Hart can set this up now if he wants to. Decides to go long with a wobbly kick. Falls to Lynch. Oh, sells the dummy beautifully. Turns it around. Hooks. It'll bounce back on the end. And, oh, just missed.
Gee, they set their forward line up, don't they? When a bloke is as gifted as that number 11 on screen there, he is so quick for a big man. They give him plenty of space in which to move.
Yes, first point now. 3-1 to a point.
18 points the margin. And it was Mitchell White who gave it to Chris Mainwaring to Johnny Worsfold on the outer side. Worsfold has a look up towards Fuster territory once again. Given away the free kick, however, on this occasion. And it will be taken by Trent Bartlett. Going across from Tasmania. Looks in towards the middle and Darryl White. Well, he is an excitement machine when he gets going. And he's found Marcus Ashcroft drifting across the half-forward line. 55 metres out. And a chance to really hurt the Eagles again in this first quarter.
Looks like the torpedo.
No, he's going to have a crack at the drop punt. And it's going to be very, very close. I think he's got it.
It's a free kick given to Peter Matera, coming off the back of the square with Marcus Ashcroft. And now goes out wide. Downsborough receives centre wing. Looks forward. Kicks. Jason Ball. Great kick. So the first set-up play that we've had from the Eagles. Ball, the leading goal kicker last year at the club with just 48. And was a real find last year. Now playing at full forward tonight. Will kick from just outside 50. Ball will fall short. Big pack in the Fuster almost. Really a great grab. Scott through the traffic. Really releases Champion and he's away.
Champion runs through half-back with a couple of bounces. Now ball to ground, goes over the top of Matera to Marcus Ashcroft. Ashcroft from the half-back flank goes up towards centre wing and Hart takes the mark. So the Bears out of defence and zoom into attack. He looks down towards Lynch territory once again. McIntosh is at the back hoping to tidy up for the Eagles, and he should do so. McKenna peels away. White goes down the middle, and he chooses Mitchell White. Got Mainwaring running on the outer side. He'll need a kind bounce because Kennedy's right on his hammer. But Mainwaring does it well. Up towards half-forward once again, but again defensive work by Bartlett. In the meantime, the whistle has sounded. Interference going against Ball, and he'll take the free kick.
And now Blurton's playing half-forward, being picked up by Gowers, and Banfield's gone on the back pocket. Well, no, Kemp's in the back pocket, and Banfield's playing centre, I think.
Going short. Donnelly provides the lead. Runs into Richard Champion, and will go back and have a shot. So a chance now for the Eagles first, bearing in mind that the Bears have booted the first 4. Andrew Donnelly from Subiaco, going to be kicking from 45. Maybe a little closer. Drop punts away to the right. Another behind goes on the board.
Yes, the most unlike Eagles start. I remember being a game at Geelong played, Sandy. We kicked 4 or 5 quickly, and the Eagles just pegged us back all night. And we just got over the line in the end, but they really won't give this away. They're a great side. Kick from McAdam goes over Lambert's head. Tries to play the ball. Oh, does well in a tight situation, Craig Lambert. Unfortunately, gives it up to Matera, to Mainwaring, I should say. And Mainwaring on the left foot finds Evans.
That wasn't the night you coached on a bench, was it?
Yes, it was actually. I think it was, yeah. Evans out wide. Scott with the sit from behind. First to recover is Ashcroft. Tries to set up Scott. He's in trouble. Taps it back towards McAdam. Clever, intelligent play. Great chase from the Eagles. Fuster.
Oh, they're going to pay a free kick.
So Chris Scott will get the kick.
Now that is a bit rugged.
It's not because he's your namesake, Tom, is it? Here we go. Chris Scott goes back into the centre, and we'll have to replay this. He didn't go back over the mark. Didn't actually see what happened. No, get back over the mark. You can't be a metre out in umpiring, Don, you know that. Here we go, Chris Scott. Wide, Scott in front. Hart does very well and keeps Jakovich off, and he's not happy about that. Scott's got it, though. Kicks, Lynch, Charlie. Great kick.
And McIntosh was picking up. No. Changes are being made here, aren't they?
Yes, Mitchell White playing on Lynch and McIntosh on Merrett. So Lynch, kick one from this, his first kick last week, his return to footy. He kicked it from 55 metres. Can he get it tonight? Kicks. Just not quite the same carry. It's in the goal square. Hart! Surely a goal. Screws it back and just missed on his favoured left foot. So another behind of the Bears. They move on to 4-2. The Eagles 2 points. So 4-goal margin.
Yes, in a most exciting first quarter for the Brisbane Bears as Guy McKenna prepares to bring it back into play. Thought about Jakovich. Short. Alex Blight, who gives it to Jakovich. Onto the left foot. He pumps it round towards centre wing. Kemp, hardly sighted to date. He was there with Lambert and over the line.
No, he hasn't been in the middle yet, Don.
Who's that?
Dean Kemp.
No, his back pocket now. Blurton's going on to the back pocket once again.
Look at White out in front of McAdam.
And there is Kemp on screen now.
Over the top of him. Oh, he's wearing him like a glove. But look at the pickup of White. Loses it. Scott's there to help him. He's ridden into the ground. The ball was held, said Mark Nash, the man in white. And there'll be a bounce. 4-2 plays 2 points. It is the Bears leading. Downsboro's beaten by Clark once again. Look at the pounce on that ball. Like seagulls on a leftover sandwich, Malcolm. On centre wing. Clark and Downsborough again. Fletcher to Lambert. Good in close. Spirals it out towards half-forward. Blurton, the effective spoil, and Mitchell White will tidy up the Mainwaring, and he should get them out of trouble.
Yes, he has McKenna out wide. He goes in that direction. Jakovich there to add support. Now has to swing back in board. Now draws Scott. Sets it up for Jakovich. Jakovich has to kick under pressure. Donnelly good in front, good hands,
Yes, it was
and
good.
does well on Dick Voss. So Andrew Donnelly now goes long. Ball, Champion's got the front spot, and ball, great mark.
Now, why didn't Bartlett punch on that occasion? Every other time he's gone near the ball and on the outer side, he's put the big fist to it. That time he attempted to mark. Now, that was bad play, but there's a quick play on. But the umpire's going to bring it back and make him play over his mark.
Yes, it's one of those decisions. He actually took a juggled mark, if you remember, Don, and I think he thought he was in pretty good touch marking, so he actually knocked Champion.
Well, you
a little
really
bit.
shouldn't do that, really, as a back man.
3 deep.
Probably. If you're in Geelong back line in your day, you probably would have. Had a bit of flair.
Yeah, Jason Ball. Can he kick it? Yes, he can. The Eagles first.
So the Eagles chant goes up at last here at the WACA Ground with their first goal going on the board. Does this mean the floodgates will suddenly open? Banfield had it, but he lost it. Houston tries to get it back again. He's there with Banfield. Have another bounce. Michael Malthouse. Tim Jeff. And the boys on the bench. Clark again stands his ground. Downsborough wins it. Voss. Well claimed. Kemp. Ashcroft. Fine pickup, but he runs straight into Dean Kemp. Clark and Downsborough again. Lambert. Gilbert McAdam, look out. It's around Braden Lyle and also Kemp. And he's going to get a free kick. It's going to come back.
Lambert's been great.
In fact, he said Gilbert threw that ball, so he's lost it. So the free kick's gone to Braden Lyle. What do you think, Don?
No, I agree with the umpire, Sandy.
So it is Lyle's kick down towards half. Once
good
again,
mark.
there he is again. He's already kicked one. There only one Jason Ball, and he's got another chance now. Under 2 minutes remaining in this first quarter.
An awkward looking mark here. Look at this. Taking it out maybe 3/4 of the way down the body. Very difficult.
45-degree angle for Jason Ball.
Should keep this.
He should, but he hasn't gone on.
Michael Malthouse comes down a lot earlier than most coaches here. So quite a way up the coaches area. John Northey just passed us, Sandy, and he's on his way down a couple of minutes after. So it's quite a hike for the coaches here at the WACA. Gilbert McAdam kicks in. Bartlett again from behind. He really is backing himself with his hands. Lambert gives it out. Kemp fighting hard. Ashcroft does very well indeed to Voss. What a pickup. Kicks it very high. Players come hard over the back. Bounces
Well
nicely
done.
for Scott. Sets up Fletcher. Caught. Holding the ball.
Not much chance, is there?
It was a great tackle though from Burton, and I guess he was a bit of a tough ball that sometimes, but I think that one was holding the ball. Here we go. Downsborough and Clark. Judges the better Downsborough. Not very often you see Matthew Clark misjudge the ball like that in the air, and Downsborough sends the Eagles away.
With a long kick up towards left half forward. Time ticking away. Donnelly in there couldn't get an effective kick away. The hand pass is shot out by Trent Bartlett. They've still got possession through a Lappin. Close to the boundary line is Ashcroft finding Lambert. What a quarter he's had. Eludes Dean Kemp. Then tumbles a punt towards centre wing.
Good shepherding too by Bartlett to allow Lambert to get that kick.
Dion Scott to half forward. McIntosh in from the side. In fact, there are a couple of them. He went with the fist. McKenna went with the two hands. And he's got them up. To Mitchell White on the outer side. White has a look down towards right half forward. Jason Ball goes a long way out again. He runs out of room on that outer side. And they're almost going to run out of time in this first quarter. John Northey has made the long trip down. And in preparation to speak to his charges at quarter time. Been a pretty good quarter with 4 goals, stunning the West Coast Eagles. There it is. It's quarter time, and as we said, Brisbane with those first 4 goals of the game really setting the cat amongst the pigeons as far as the West Coast Eagles were concerned, and they had to wait for some considerable time before Jason Ball was able to open their account. Brisbane, on the other hand, had 4 individual goal kickers: Adrian Fletcher, Marcus Ashcroft, Alistair Lynch and Roger Merrett. And the Bears doing it without Dean McRae. So it's 4-2, plays 1-3 here at the WACA.
On the player when they get the ball, so when the Bears do get the ball, he wants them, putting a lot more pressure, so it helps the guys downfield. But that's a big start by the Bears, but the Eagles will hang in and they'll come back this quarter, I'm sure.
Yes, a long way to go.
Well, the change there, centre set up on, Lovell's on, Kemp's now in the centre, who's starting outside. So what else can we pick up? Mainwaring's on Kennedy still.
So we commence the second quarter. Clark did an excellent job in the first. He's up against Downsborough once again. In fact, goes it alone. Tried to get it down towards Hart, but it's taken by Fletcher, who tumbles a punt towards Lambert. He had 12 possessions in the first quarter, Lambert. He's going to pick up another one now, but his hand pass under pressure goes astray. He was looking for Kennedy, taken by Jakovich off to Mainwaring. And Chris Mainwaring steadies things down. Goes towards the outer ring. Houston was there. And a push, said the umpire. So the free kick goes the way of the West Coast Eagle. His kick in towards the 50. No mark taken. Donnelly was there. Couldn't quite complete it. Now a chance for Dick Voss to get the hand pass away. They should get out of trouble. Over the line it goes, and a throw in after Gow's just tumbled, trying to make valuable metres. He did that. There's Mick still staying down the bottom as we have the throw in. Clark front spot, Downsborough over the top. Chris Scott does the roving works. Got to go backwards towards Michael Voss. He was sensational last week as well, and he finds McAdam.
Here's McAdam inside to Fletcher. Running a nuisance of himself again, Adrian Fletcher. Looks funny in the helmet, looks different, doesn't he? Doesn't know what to do. He's going to be called to play on, and he is now. Now goes short, and it is chipped out beautifully by Worsfold. Worsfold sets off with Matera. Mainwaring out wide. He has to stop. Gives it to Lovell. And a lead from Ball was early, and that is a great kick. So Jason Ball had the last 2 shots at goal in that first quarter. And the Eagles just starting to win a bit more ball around that midfield area. So Jason Ball kicked the Eagles' only goal. And it kicked from right on the 50. Kicks it, starts to draw it back. Oh, it's a lovely kick. It's a goal. Second goal to the Eagles, and Jason Ball's second also.
Well, there was a good switch of play in the centre of the ground. I thought they were just playing the possession game. Here it was, started here. Worsfold cut it out a little earlier. And that was an excellent pass from Lovell. And you see how far Ball was in front of Champion. And from 50 metres, that is an excellent kick for goal. Seem to be just coming back, clawing their way back, the Eagles.
McKenna off and Metropolis on for the West Coast Eagles. Mainwaring was held. He'll take the free kick from the centre. Chris Mainwaring goes to Matera on the outer side. They're starting to move now. The danger signs are up. Look at this. A worm burner to Chris Lewis.
It's important, Mainwaring. When he gets the ball, they seem to do something with it, the Eagles. Keep him quiet. Keep the Eagles quiet.
Well, he's kicked 215 goals in his career. He's up to his 175th game.
Coming on Tristan Lynch for Brisbane, Sandy. He's been everywhere. Started at Sale, Collingwood, Richmond, now with Brisbane.
And good luck to him too. Chris Lewis, close to the man on the mark from 48 metres. Looks pretty straight. Just deviating at the last minute for a couple. This is a big moment for Tristan Lynch, picked up in the pre-season draft earlier this year.
Michael Voss, designated kicker. Banfield playing on him and playing pretty tight. Those are the 2 big blokes. And holding the ball.
Wow-wee.
Lovell, it's a huge turnover this. Pressure now coming onto the Bears. really a game of footy right on here at the WACA. From behind, big fly. Jason play on. Took it out of Fuster's hands. The umpire was right there, so you'd have to expect that perhaps both of them had a share of it.
Well, did he?
Well, it wasn't even a mark, so it was a good call in the end. Punch forward, Fletcher. Oh, weaves his way beautifully. Then sells the dummy, runs up the middle. Great attacking kick out wide. 2 on to 1 here. Jakovich does the spoiling, goes over the back. Coming at him is White. Jakovich slips over and the ball is forced out of bounds. Right on centre wing.
10 points, the margin. Clark and Downsborough again. One emphatically by Clark, but taken away by Banfield. Taken high as he got the kick, and it's going to come back. But Drew Banfield just forward of centre wing will send the Eagles into attack once again. Short to Downsborough.
It's a good play to use Downsborough because Clark was further down the ground.
Got a lead on from the ball. Now he's got to come back the other way. The big man will fly from the back. Champion applies the tackle. It's socket off the ground, and one behind is conceded. Drew Banfield scoring for the first time tonight. We saw Guy McKenna leave the ground. Dwayne, what report have you on him?
He lost one of his contacts, teaching him to have bad eyes. He was back on him in 5 ticks.
Okay. So no injury woes to Guy McKenna.
Not funny, Sandy, when that happens. Let me tell you, you just cannot see when that contact lens comes out of the eye. You just can't focus.
The bounce between centre and half forward. Clark at the second attempt. Tristan Lynch, well, almost spiking as in volleyball, but it's taken by Blight. Down towards right half forward. It bounces away from Fraser Garrick, who started on the bench. And another throw in.
So boundary thrown right on 50. Tap, knock back to Scott. Sees the opportunity out wide. Lappin with pace. Pressure from Worsfold. Fuster first to recover. Spins around. Has Lyle inside. Lyle off quickly off to Kemp. Kemp chips it. Lovely kick. Great pick up. Fantastic mark from Jason Ball.
The man that impresses me, Malcolm, is Fuster, the centre half forward. Second game player. He's got a lot of ability.
Yes, isn't that a great pickup, Don, for a big fella? Fantastic. So Jason Ball has the only 2 goals for the Eagles. So can he make a clean sweep of it with 3? So really one of the really big improvers last year, mainly in the centre position for the Eagles. And he will kick from 35 metres. It's a long run up. Slow run up. Kicks it off the side. But now starting to wobble back, and they're all happy behind. Another goal.
It's the margin here at the WACA. Clark wins it out. Voss couldn't take it away. Downsborough can. A high kick towards Fuster off forward. Donnelly tries to get it back to him. It was almost held. Or Fuster held on time, and he's gone.
Bears really opening up the front end of their square.
Towards centre wing. Good mark in front. Strong mark by John Worsfold. Plays on quickly with the hand pass, giving it away towards Andrew. Also started on the bench. Chris Scott comes in from the side with the fly. Couldn't take it cleanly. McKenna is caught. Well caught by Fraser Garrick. There's another fine tackle by Donnelly. Comes out now towards Chris Lewis. He can chip over the top. He does so, and the pickup is good by Ball again. Talk about a slips catch.
Nearly a half volley. It was good play by Lewis. I'm going to say Dale Lewis. Chris Lewis. There he is. He could have blazed away, but he just steadied, realised the situation and popped it over. They're starting to come back, the Eagles.
Jason Ball for his 4th, and the Eagles to hit the front, and he's threaded it straight through the middle. What an extraordinary scoreboard. They were 4 goals down. Jason Ball's come along and booted 4, and now they lead.
Well, all the goals have been kicked down that side, down that end of the ground, 7 in fact. There's McKenna. The players are actually congratulating Fraser Gehrig on that tackle just as Lewis got rid of it. So players do recognise the turnovers or the little things that players do or their teammates do.
Yeah, so back in the centre, Downs are doing pretty well actually. The dominance of Clark is not there at the moment. The Eagles now starting to win on ground level. Goes backwards with a handball to Matera. Mainwaring, that's a high tackle. He is an absolute expert at just ducking as he feels the pressure from the other player coming and gets many, many frees to Chris Mainwaring. Just ducking the
good
chutney.
running too. There's some good running for the Eagles. There's a lot of options from Mainwaring.
Gives it off to Jakovich. It's a beautiful long left foot kick. Great contest between 2 young players there. Voss almost. Tap forward, McAdam. Back up support from Dick Voss. Out wide. Would almost put his teammate in trouble. Dick Voss now caught. Has to kick under pressure. Wide from in front. McIntosh over the back. Great mark across centre half back.
Plays on quickly. Giving it to Worsfold. Chips it out wide, but Fletcher has got rid of the headgear. And finds himself a little freer with Ashcroft in the middle.
Fletcher playing half-forward pocket, Sandy, or half-forward flank.
Marcus Ashcroft straight down the middle. Big fly, but no mark. This may be an opportunity for Lamb, but he pops it over the top in towards Hart, who's 30 metres out but losing ground. Forced onto a tight angle, he kicks it high. Straight up in the air. 3 Eagles pounce upon it, belt it towards the line.
Jakovich has hurt himself too. He's going back holding his right hip. Because at his groin. Certainly not right. There he is.
It's in the left forward pocket. In the Bears attacking zone. Lambert takes it from Merrett. He's unceremoniously dumped. Lynch is there as well. It comes out the back door towards Hart. Flat. Mainwaring. Gets clear. From full back. Pumps it towards the outer side. Matera and Ashcroft both hang on to each other. Finally they disentangle, head towards the line, and the shake of the head by Peter Matera tells you what he thinks.
It's been a good little contest, Matera and Ashcroft. There's another one. Kemp now playing on Lambert. Lambert just hasn't been quite as effective in the last 5 or 6 minutes when the Eagles have made their real push. So I almost got him a kick there, and the ball falls under the pack again. And
he's playing half forward now, so he's not playing on the ball as he was. Maybe they've taken him out of play, do you think?
No, I don't think so at all. Well, I just think that Kemp's playing a lot closer. Now, another bounce. Clark pushes it to Lappin, screws the ball around and comes off hands and will be a boundary throw-in. Oh, some 55 metres around from the Bears' goals. Bears really have to stop this now. The last 4 goals have been kicked against them. They really need to manufacture something.
They haven't scored this quarter.
No. Voss now on the ball. Brilliantly done onto the left foot. Kicked out wide. Fletcher wanted it. And Adrian Fletcher got it.
Oh, he's going to go on to Lynch. David Hart about to come on.
So Adrian Fletcher just kept his eye on the footy. That's all he was interested in. And Fletcher. 35 out kicks. I'm sure he's kicked his second, and that's the answer. The Bears' 5th.
Yeah, 5th for the game with one of the Eagles' favourite sons, David Hart, coming onto the ground. 94 All-Australian player. Drew Banfield gets himself out of trouble, gives it to Chris Mainwaring. Tumbles it towards Donnelly, couldn't take it cleanly. Dick Voss is there to tidy up for Brisbane under pressure. Lambert on the outer side.
Done a couple of good things tonight, Dick Voss. He wasn't prominent last week.
Lambert certainly was in the first quarter here tonight with 12 possessions. He goes up towards Dion Scott, couldn't take it. Kemp now gives the hand pass away towards Lovell. Caught one late as he gets his kick. Back towards the centre it goes. Voss doing the scouting work. Tumbles it back from whence it came. Jakovich, like the Rock of Gibraltar, comes over the top. Couldn't complete the mark. McIntosh is going to give it out, however. Off to Lovell, and now Jakovich once again ridden into the ground. Matera now, it's his turn to apply the pressure on Ashcroft. Jakovich suckers off the ground. It passes Mainwaring and goes over the line.
This is a real game now, Dom.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Great.
Certainly got Mickey Malthouse up on his feet.
You look at the body of the Bears now, they've certainly lifted a lot of weights. Merrett's coming off the ground for Brisbane and Lappin coming on. Now that's going to give them a bit of mobility up forward.
Yes, boundary throwing. The tackling's been sensational at the start of this second quarter. Runs in the left, now to Voss. Voss, one-on-one duel here. Lynch in front, trying to tap it to his own advantage. There's Blight. Had it knocked from him. McIntosh, great handball to White. Fantastic tackle from Lynch. Great pressure here from all players. White snaps, and a great goal. So the Bears, the last 2 goals after the Eagles had got 4 on the trot.
Well, what excellent tackling. Look at Lynch lay one there. Then it's pressure, pressure, pressure. Lappin just getting his foot, and then it comes out White's way. He bangs towards goal, and luck's a fortune because it's gone through for his first. And the Bears in front.
Do you reckon that was luck, Tom? I reckon that was great play.
I said it was great play.
Oh, I said luck.
Typical Darryl White. He's an excitement machine when he gets going. Let's see what happens from the centre this time. Dean Kemp under all sorts of pressure. Taken away by Michael Voss. Just gets his kick in time. Down towards Tristan Lynch. Oh, he got it to Hart, and Hart was leg. Play on, however, said the umpire. Dion Scott traps it. He may be pinged here. Sat over the ball. And Jakovich comes away. He steadies for the West Coast Eagles, then kicks down towards right half forward. Under 8 minutes remaining in this first half here at the WACA. In an entertaining contest, to say the least. Another throw, and Roger Merrett we saw leave the ground. Any injury problems there, Dwayne?
Age could be catching up. I think it looks like it's a slight strain to the hamstring, so I'm not sure if he'll play again.
Okay, thank you for that. Clark looking for Lambert. Pushes it out the back door towards Chris Scott. Lewis on his hammer, so Scott sensibly soccers off the ground. Worsfold leads in this race.
Whoa! Well, they were committed. He's all right.
Yep, he's up, but I'll tell you what, they're coming from everywhere. There we are in replay.
If he really wanted it, he could have made a mess of him, couldn't he, Gowers? But Gowers really did let Worsfold off there. I think he's turned his ankle, which is no good at all. Or is it his knee? That's rotten luck. Here's the replay. Just see what he does. There. Oh, you don't really know, do you? It could have been an ankle or knee. But he's walking off. He's running off, so he's a tough customer.
So play goes on the outer side. Matera will get to the ball, but it will beat him over the line. Braden Lyle, incidentally, comes back out onto the ground. Throw in on centre wing. Lovely night here in Perth. And such a vital game for both sides. Both winners in the first round of matches. And Fraser Guerin gets through some heavy traffic. Loses and then regains the football. Lambert gets a poor balance. Donnelly under pressure. He's able to give the hand pass away. That is flipped high. In towards full forward. Where's the tall timber? Where's Chris Lewis, baby? Oh! Yes, says Chris Lewis.
3-point ball game. The Bears lead to Banfield from the centre bounce. Tries to give it off in the path of Main Waring. Casts the ball out wide as he quite often does. Now comes back inside. Gives up the footy to Fletcher. Has to cop and then prop. Back to the brilliant Michael Voss. Kicks. Cutting across was Metropolis. Can't grab hold of it. White stands up, does well. Jakovich, free kick. Ball to play on. White tries to give it out. Coming in, it was... Oh, Kemp was great then. So was the kid to White. Releases Hart. Hart kicks the goal. Sean Hart, first goal. And the Bears answered that Lewis goal very quickly indeed, Don.
He's got a heart bigger than himself, this little man. Just watch him. He puts himself there with Kemp bearing down. There's nothing worse than when the player's got the drop on you. And then he finishes up. There it is. Terrific play. Gee, there's some strong tackling by those Bears forwards. Really causing turnovers. That's his first goal. He kicked 5 last week.
Goal for goal here at the WACA at the moment, and what a contest. 7-2 plays 5-5. The Bears again just sneaking clear. Clark trying to get it out of the middle. Matera punches wide towards the running Hart. McAdams right on his hammer, and he's at the bottom of that pack is our Gilbert. And there'll be a bounce. Nick Malthouse knowing full well that he's got a real struggle on his hands with John Northey's men here tonight. McAdam again. Almost got caught. But the tackling has been ferocious by both sides. Kick by Trent Bartlett goes down towards half forward. Lambert again, wider to Darryl White. Now what can he do here? He looks for the free kick. Doesn't get it, so he goes back into the thick of things. Lynch almost ran into Leppich's teammate. Lynch is still going, but he needs support. He's got it through Hart, who runs out of room. He was held, taken over the line, and he's going to get a free kick. Wants to go short, does so to Fletcher, who marks just outside 50. Under 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Adrian Fletcher with veteran Roger Merrett off the ground. He passes short. Mitchell White could be in the road. Got a hand to it. Then it falls to Kemp. Gives it away to Braden Lyle. Off to Chris Mainwaring. The Eagles out of trouble. Back towards centre wing.
Kerry looking at the player. Gow's over the top. Now tries to tap it back to himself. And a free kick paid. Bears advantage. McKenna races off. Brilliantly shepherded by Fletcher. Kick great. And fantastic hands in from Lepich. And Lepich in the Lightning Carnival played very well at full forward with some of his leading. Tom, one of the most interesting stats I think is that the Bears are only 4 games behind in average experience than the Eagles side. So there's certainly been a changing of the guard at the Eagles, and the Bears are really maturing into a pretty good footy side.
And physically they're doing it as well.
Lepich kicks, but he's hooked that kick to the left, and only a point result. Great build-up then again by the Bears, and a bit of system up forward gives them the advantage, and they extend their lead by 1 point to 10.
Any further news, Dwayne, on Roger Merrett?
No, he's looks like it's coming from the back. He's having a bit of a rub down here on the boundary line. Looks very comfortable. Johnny Worsfold has seen rolled that ankle and gone up to have it re-strapped, and he's very proppy on it, so I'm not sure that they won't probably want to use him if possible.
Okay, Dwayne. Braden Lyle takes the kick in. He's tucked in the back pocket and he's put that down straight onto the chest of Matthew Clark, who in turn kicks into the man on the mark, but it goes to Lambert, back to Clark again. He's going to have to be quick. Gives it away to Lappin. Well, he's going to get a free kick, I think. Got one a little too high. It's gone against Downsborough, and Clark will take it. It may go a little longer this time. Centering kick in towards half forward. Lynch was on a lead, but he couldn't take it cleanly. Hart to Jakovich, and the Eagles out of trouble. That's a long kick back towards the centre. No mark taken. Blight comes in over the top. So too does Donnelly. Tony Evans, already seen have a run tonight, standing by to come on again as they all congregate in the middle. Malcolm.
Yes, Lambert does the ruck work, grabs it out of the air. Lappin, caught, slings it onto his boot, falls in the direction of Lynch, goes to ground. Coming to meet it is Scott. Jakovich in there over the hunt like a great centre-half back he is. And I was just thinking of Dean Kemp going onto the ball. I think he must have had 5 or 6 tackles, Don. He's just been terrific in and around those tight situations.
Yeah, he's starting on centre wing, running off the edge of the square in the first quarter. Now he's got a job.
Lovell caught by McKenna. Sets up a handball 25 metres. Bartlett to Fletcher. Gives it off to Lappin. And Lappin's away running. 2 bounces. Now being chased by Donnelly. Puts in a bit of a spurt and kicks the ball wobbly forward. Falls to Lepich. Turns. Chips. Can't find Lynch. Lynch goes to ground. Backing up his Hart. They can work something out here, the Bears. Lovell has to wait. Here comes Lepich over the top. Off the ground. Goal!
Incredible. Clark takes it out of the middle and he wobbles a punt down towards Dion Scott at half forward. Voss is there, but Scott's still going. He does it well from 48 metres. Swings round in towards the full forward zone.
Kick,
towards Lynch, but no free kick is given Donald.
Why
as you
not?
slam the disc, and there'll be a throw-in.
Burton coming off the ground for West Coast. Now look at Lynch holding. Look, unbelievable. Evans back on.
Throw-in in the left forward pocket. Jakovich tries to steam into that contest, but it comes out towards Dean Kim. Has a look down towards the centre wing and finds Fraser Garrett. Garrett quickly on with it. The side down by 16 points. Dick Voss unable to complete the mark. Donnelly goes through, then has to give the hand pass away to Fuster. He's under pressure. Gowes is in that pack. And eventually the umpire decides upon a bounce.
It's a good game of football. With 3 Bears onto the 1 Eagle, and the Eagles got numbers to the action. Blood rule.
Blood rule?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him being wiped on the arm before by a trainer just off the footy. So whether it's in the face or arm, there it is on his elbow, I would suggest. Yeah, pretty scary stuff, that.
What?
So coming back on is Blurton.
What's scary?
Cut on an arm. It's
is
going to
it?
hurt a lot of people, yeah. Sitting underneath it. Mainwaring. Can't get a hold of it. It's been a lot of packs, a lot of hard stuff.
Good shepherd.
Ball's pushed forward. Weight of numbers here. Bears might win out here, they have. McKenna gives it up. Lappin trying to paddle it down, and Jakovich stands his ground, and the ball's forced out of bounds. So really the Bears won that little contest there between those 10 players and got about 20 metres. So play just settles down again. Ruckwork contest been interesting. There's Mainwaring ducking the head. The umpire didn't fall for it this time to Lappin. Kicks it round his body, and the ball will be seen over by Glenn Jakovich, and he's quite happy to do that. Mick Malthouse looking on.
Yes, inside the last 33 seconds, Malcolm, of this first half, and what a first half it's been. The Bears firing out of the blocks, the Eagles coming back, and the Bears steadying hard.
He puts himself in this little fellow, doesn't he?
Seconds ticking away. He might fancy himself with a chance here, but he's going to be kicking from 48 metres, and he's gone for distance, but it's gone right. There's a sensational mark, though. And
No, don't look, have a guess.
this man is unbelievable. If he can kick this now, Darryl White,
Only one man who can get up like that.
16, 22-point lead at half-time. If he can kick this. Arguably one of the most exciting players in the competition when he's firing. Darryl White from 15 metres. Just a steady little pop shot at goal, and he's made no mistake about it. So that finishes off a fine quarter of football, not only for him because he kicked 2 goals in that term, but a fine quarter for the Brisbane Bears, who were challenged very early on by 4 quick goals. And they've hit back hard with 5 themselves. So at half-time, Brisbane leads 9-3-57. The West Coast a 5-5-35.
He did just that. Stewie Lowe, an imposing figure at full forward. Ablett made his presence felt at the other end. He took young Christian Barsley out of the game and then helped himself to 4 first-half goals.
Favours him, just turns Shanahan inside out and then kicks a goal.
A shiver went round the ground when Ablett went to the bench before half-time. He would return and kick 6 for the day. For the Saints, their co-skipper Stewie Lowe would be dominant. 9 goals his contribution in a losing side. Geelong by 30 points in an accurate display. Ablett 6, Lowe 9, the standouts. Hawthorn won 16 of its last 18 encounters against Richmond. Today at Waverley, the demise of the power side of the 80s was obvious. Play like this from Matty Knights helped the Tigers lead by 17 points at quarter time. 8 different goal kickers enabled the Tigers to gradually draw away from the Hawks. The tall Tiger Timber proved too talented. Matthew Richardson a focal point. Richmond by 47 points, Richardson 3, while for the Hawks, skipper Dunstall kicked 2. After 15 consecutive losses, Fitzroy was hoping to end the run against Adelaide. When things go badly, they just keep going badly. Young John Rombotis stretched it off after a clash of heads. An 8-point first quarter lead was quickly eroded as the Crows booted 7 in the second term. Darren Jarman kicked 4 himself in the third term as Adelaide moved away. It was a great day for the Jarman brothers. They'd kicked 14 between them in a 32-point win. Darren Jarman kicked 8, brother Andrew kicked 6, while for the Lions, Malloy kicked 4.
And let's have a look at the reports to come out of the round so far. Shane Crawford for allegedly striking Justin Charles of Richmond, and Crawford again for allegedly wrestling Chris Bond. And Chris Bond in the thick of things as far as tribunals are concerned. He's been also reported for wrestling against Shane Crawford. So those are the reports to date. There's certainly been plenty of news happening, and let's find out some of the drama now as we cross to the sporting editor of the Sunday Herald Sun and Scotty Palmer. Scotty, welcome to you. I guess the big news at the moment is surrounding Footscray. They've been belted this week by 131 points. Are there crisis talks? What's happening?
Yeah, something of a crisis out there at Footscray tonight after coach Alan Joyce spent a dramatic hour locked away with his match committee. There are even guards on the door. And I tell you what, Sandy, it was very, very tense there. Alan Joyce even missed talking to the players after that drubbing by North Melbourne. President Peter Gordon and General Manager Dennis Gallimberti made 3 visits to the room. They're not saying anything. Joycey came out and said, I'm just disappointed for the football club. He declined to expand on the meeting or his future. The board has been tremendous, and in circumstances, everyone has to look at themselves as individuals, he said. Of course, they've been beaten in the last 4 games, at 2 last year, by a total of 354 points. And they've got Fitzroy next week. It's a very, very crisis week out there at the Whitten Oval.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be a big game, isn't it? Up against the Lions. Injury problems at Collingwood for the big clash with Melbourne.
Very big, yes. There we have 3 players, Mickey McGuan, Gavin Brown and Gavin Krasiska didn't turn up today for training. There's question marks over their fitness for the Melbourne game at the MCG. Collingwood officials aren't saying anything. They were picked tonight, but there's a big problem about them, Sandy. Of course, Melbourne named Smith, Seacamp and Lovett on the interchange bench.
Tell me, the Geelong clash this afternoon with St Kilda. How's Kristen Bardsley?
He's still in the hospital. I rang the hospital just a while back. He's being reassessed whether to stay in for the night. He's not too good. He's got a lacerated mouth and chin, slight concussion, a bruised voice box, a bruised throat, and they're x-raying him for a fractured jaw. Gary Ayres was asked about it, and he said, look, I didn't see anything at all. But Stanley Elf said, I'm not going to comment on that because my feelings may get me into a lot of trouble.
Scotty, Mick Noonan used to coach the Jarman boys in South Australia. He wouldn't have liked what he would have seen today, would he?
He said he saw it all coming. He knew what was going to happen, but he was powerless to stop it. He said they were quite wonderful. And he was pretty proud of the Jarman brothers, although very disappointed with Fitzroy.
Just in closing, Chris Bond, in and out of the tribunal.
He's the bloke that everyone loves to biff. He chatters so much that they want to get rid of him, and of course he's up for his own case on Monday night. Be very, very interesting to see how he gets on.
All right, Scotty, thank you for that, and keep punching.
Keep punching, Sandy.
Scotty Palmer. We'll take a break more shortly from the WACA here in Perth. Fantastic first half here at the WACA. Brisbane a 9-3-57. Only 2 multiple goal kickers, Adrian Fletcher and Darryl White, both have 2. Whilst the West Coast Eagles, well, 4 of their goals came from one man. That was Jason Ball. They trailed 5-5, and they have the job ahead of them. Dwayne Lamb, you think they can get back?
Stanley certainly do. It's going to be very tough. There seems to be a lack of emotion there at the Eagles, and first 15 minutes of that quarter they got going, but they're going to have to find something now.
Well, let's see what happens as we commence the second half. Clark again will do battle with Downsborough in the middle. There's been a whistle.
Worsfold's not out there, Sandy, and he's not on the bench either for the Eagles, so maybe that ankle injury is worse than what we thought.
Centre square infringement. Downsborough gives it to Matera, who just gets his kick in time. Darryl White closing in on him. Voss couldn't take the mark, but look at the recovery of the young man. Incredible. Then he goes in subtle fashion to the boundary line and fights it.
Hart playing in the back pocket. That's David Hart. Sean Hart. We just saw McKenna for the Eagles down forward.
From the throw-in, Gehrig beaten by Clark. Flicked towards the half-forward line. Donnelly picks it up nicely. Put his teammate in Lovell under considerable pressure, though. Comes out towards Clark for the Bears. He couldn't take it. And Chris Lewis is very quick to lock that ball up. It's going nowhere. Marcus Ashcroft is at the bottom of the pack. The tackling was a feature of the game in the first half. And the desperation on both sides. The Brisbane Bears coming out on top at that stage. Clark again wins it to Fletcher, off to Lambert. Now McAdam, they're out of trouble to centre wing. And here he is, Captain Elastic. Darryl White.
Marvellous player, isn't he? Getting better. Kicks the ball to centre-half forward. Scott unattended. Now sets up Kennedy. Kennedy usually kicks long and does that extremely well. Behind is Leppich, but a free kick was paid in front. Mitchell White will accept this free kick and stop that thrust from the Bears. Pushing and shoving off the footy. So White really is undecided.
Everybody's manned up at the ground. It's one-on-one everywhere.
Yeah, terrific stuff. Pretty hard to get a kick here. So he elects to go wide, as they typically do, the Eagles. Great contest out there. Fallen over. And a call to play on to Mainwaring. Donnelly is in the clear. Now kicks. It's a wobbly kick. Will it find its mark? It does. And once again, that man, Jason Ball. So the Bears have got 7 goal kickers, and the Eagles only 2, and this man's got 4 of them. So Jason Ball will kick from probably about 40 metres. Kick 4-1 actually, missed one shot. Quite a deliberate shot, not a quick run again. Holds the ball up high, floats poorly away to the right and misses the line. Yes. So disappointing then for the Eagles and Jason Ball.
Relief for John Northey and his men. Scowers brings it towards the outer side. Tackled too hard. It's going against the West Coast Eagles side. And the free kick will go the way of Trent Bartlett. Wearing the strip vacated by Martin Leslie. There he is again. White getting up a country kilometre. Time couldn't take it. Here's Matera. Sneaks away from Marcus Ashcroft and does it well as he goes to Downsborough on the outer wing. Has a look up towards the 50. Fuster's there, but he can't beat Trent Bartlett, who takes a solid mark. Bartlett from halfback. Well, he's headed towards Downsborough and Clark. The latter is forced to spoil. He's pushed down towards Mainwaring. He's forced to apply the tackle. Now a chance for Kennedy. Quick kick towards Leppich. Tumbling. He loses the football. Picked up by Mitchell White. Saw a player out of the corner of his eye, and he's got to use Drew Banfield. Was able to get it away, and a chance now for Andy Lovell to kick to half forward. Voss is in the way once again. Michael Voss. Look out, Gilbert McKenna. With Matera closing.
It's just so important in this game to be in front, because every man that's in front is getting a reward.
McAdam between half-back and centre wing. Kicks down towards half-forward. Jakovich and Dion Scott were there, and so too Darryl White. Look at him. It's sensational to watch. Lambert paddles it forward. Kennedy even further back to Lambert, or Lewis almost in his back. Evans gets the hand pass out to Jakovich. The pressure's intense. He's got Mainwaring on the outer side, and he may have a little bit of room.
And he does. Kicks the ball towards centre-half forward, but really gives it up to Bartlett. And really, without looking, Bartlett being able to chop that off quite easily. Chips back into the centre, and Kennedy by himself. Went to play on. Lewis over the mark, now being called back. Kicks to the true centre-half forward position. White in front. Lynch pushing and shoving to Metropolis. And Hart breaks away. McKenna's wide. Closing his Lappin. Great mark from McKenna. Sets it up. Usually kicks pretty well. This time it goes in between the players. Sets up Fuster. Can't pick it up. Now confronted by Dick Voss. Great plays. Kept his body in line. Donnelly. Now clear. Can't get out of it. Kemp onto his left foot. No. Ball. Shoots. And has kicked a miraculous goal.
Yeah, that was a similar goal to what...
Doubt he's going to have to leave because of the blood rule.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a problem, because he was really giving Clark something to think about.
Interesting call this now, Don. Fuster's gone into ruck. Just wondering what they might do.
Braden Lyle comes back out onto the ground.
He'll go to... Well, I think you go to centre forward, you go to the flank. They've got a small half-forward line now, the Eagles. But
5 goals to Jason Ball. Neither wins it decisively. Lambert got the hand pass away towards Voss. Another delightful pickup.
Oh, well.
Beautifully done by Fuster as he spirals it out towards the half-forward line towards ball. Dick Voss is there defending for Brisbane. Gets a hurried left foot kick to the outer side. McKenna will get there with Lovell. May beat them over the line. No, the pace of McKenna telling. Only for a moment. He takes it over.
The shape of Dick Voss, you don't think he'd run over the ground, but boy, he's got a bit of pace.
Now, just a cut, is it, Dwayne, on Downsborough?
Yeah, just opened up on the cheekbone and he probably need a couple of stitches, so he's gone to the rooms.
But he'll be back, no doubt. So no problems there as Scott gets a kick down towards the centre wing area. Jakovich. Caught. Lewis. Caught. Gehrig just tries to flick it on towards Love. Back to Lewis again. It's a high kick, it's towards 50. There's a big pack of players. Ball is waiting at the back, but he's got to beat this man, Michael Voss. Oh, yeah. And he does. The ball spills free. It's with ball. He's tucked on the boundary line. He goes short, and it's pulled in by Trent Bartlett. Play on, says the umpire, so Michael Voss does. This is fantastic. McKenna gives it away to Fletcher. Fletcher runs through half-back, has a look up over the centre, has a look towards the heart. They're on each other, but Jakovich intercepts and takes a timely mark off to Mainwaring. Mainwaring bounces way clear, then gets the hand pass to Lovell, and the former Demon's got a chance to go forward.
Lovell chips and picks out Gowers, so that promising attacking move breaks down across half-back. Gowers now goes out wide, 2 on to 1 out in the Bears, but the boundary line beats the 3 of them. That's Mainwaring, Kennedy and Hart, and a boundary throw in centre wing. So interesting, the youngsters, Downsborough and now Fuster, going into ruck. Plan number 2 by Mick Malthouse. Off the ground from Kennedy, Hart plays in front. Evans picks up the crumbs, and Fletcher reliably back onto it. Goes inside to McAdam, he's now under pressure. Has to go back to Fletcher. They're just mucking around with it at the moment, the Bears out here on the wing as the Eagles player run at them. Lappin, clever, forced to kick and unfortunately picks out Evans. So it's pretty hot the pace at the moment. Matera, haven't seen him do much of this tonight.
Look out.
Now draws the player and kicks out wide to McKenna. He really just held the ball and set up his teammate Guy McKenna.
He's on the outer side of the ground.
There's not much offering, that's why they're going wide.
16 points the margin. Banfield unable to take it. Jason Ball there, Richard Champion. Daniel Metropolis. And a bounce. McAdam. Caught. A cry of ball by these Eagle supporters. The plays goes on.
I think this might be my one game of the year, Sandy, that I'll go away and enjoy. I reckon we see so much football that not too many turn you on, but this is just terrific.
Yes.
Gee, I hope you see a few more, Tom.
You see more than one. One. Champion from the outer side. Yep, certainly is to a big pack of players. Fuster waiting at the back, gives it away to Mainwaring. And just lost it like a greasy piece of soap. Eventually, and over the line. But he's been busy. Picked up 11 kicks so far. White set himself to come over the top. Fuster towards Lewis. Darryl White on his hammer.
Really, if you can keep the pressure on good play, well, I mean, if you can keep the pressure on any player, they really do, or they don't look as good, do they? You know, and all it requires if you just run with the guys. A lot of clubs or players can't do that.
Fuster, but it's Lambert who was just about steamrolled. Speaking of steamroll, the tackling by Chris Mainwaring. Excellent. Kemp leaves it for Lovell. Lovell's under a ton of pressure. Eventually Clark comes away, just gets his kick in time. Was pulled off the ball, hence it's going to drop short across the centre. Braden Lyle is there. He's come off the bench because of the blood rule. He's got possession and he has a bounce. A low kick down towards half forward. Chris Scott couldn't take it on the half volley. Ball, an excellent hand pass to Lovell, but he's caught. Now the defence of Brisbane working overtime. Champion says, let's get out of here and go for the boundary line, and he does.
Fantastic.
Unbelievable. 1 goal in this quarter. This is more like the Eagles with the pressure they're used to. Nearly a half the quarter's gone, and just that 1 scoring shot to the Eagles. This is really the premiership stuff now. This is where the 4 points will be won. This heat at this stage of the game. Free kick going to Gowers, or is it Lambert? It's Craig Lambert. Lambert off to Gowers. Kicks along the boundary. Jakovich forces Dion Scott underneath it. Fuster trying to get a handle on it. Lewis has to kick it quickly. Scott again to Bartlett. Bartlett runs through, has Fletcher but doesn't use him. Chips in the direction of Kennedy, and Kennedy is marked right in the centre of the ground.
Two behind play. Let's hope he's all right.
Dion Scott.
Dion Scott. They want him at centre half forward.
Oh, he's kicked it 70 metres this time, Kennedy. Big fly from behind. Called play on by the umpire. Fletcher at ground level. Falls to Leppich. Leppich shoots and also snaps and has kicked a behind. So the Bears' first score this quarter.
And here's Scott on centre wing. He really came out and worked it hard. There he is, getting it up, setting up play, and then got crunched. Just had the wind knocked out of him. He's all right.
So play goes on, and Lovell takes the kick in. Heads towards centre wing. He's got Fuster on the outer side. Kennedy, though, is there with him, and the big bear does best. Swings round towards the 50 again. Darryl White. Oh, he got up on, but he couldn't take it. Leppich shrugs the Lewis tackle in almost arrogant fashion, turns round and slams it into the base of the post.
Well, if there wasn't for that padding, that would have been a goal.
I'd agree with that, John. Look how big the padding is. It's the biggest padding I've ever seen.
What do you think we ought to do?
I suppose if I run into it, I'd be thankful for it.
Back into play once more. Mainwaring, the outer side. 41 plays 59. Chris Lewis. We've got the Bears camp just in front of our commentary position, the coach's spot, and they're certainly quite animated. This is a fantastic clash tonight. Got to come back.
Yes, the law of the game says if you take a mark, you must take the kick.
Up towards the 50, towards Jason Ball this time. Strong mark taken by Richard Champion. Starting out at Woodville in South Australia and now playing some of the best footy of his life. Very consistent. The Lappin around his body and a
front again,
good,
Dion
strong
Scott.
mark. So he's certainly recovered, Malcolm.
Yes, he has. Comes inside to Darryl White, and the magical Darryl White just holds up play. Now comes out wide. Voss has to go at this footy. Oh, fantastic shepherd from Voss to set up Ashcroft. Then back to Voss, has to kick on the back move. Lynch in front and accepts the mark right on 50.
Oh, this is terrific.
So Alistair Lynch.
Look at the pressure here. There's a great shepherd by Voss, but you can see the pressure. Look, Voss just putting it on his boot. This is real hot stuff. And when it's like this, it's just so important to be in front like Lynch was on that occasion.
Alistair Lynch with a torpedo. Unloads and has split the middle. Fantastic stuff from Alistair Lynch.
Can the West Coast Eagles catch them? Tony Evans has it in the middle. It's a high kick, but it doesn't have a lot of distance. Gilbert McAdam went up a little bit too early, and the strong mark has been paid to Andy Lovell. Plays on. Thought about the player going past, but now heads down towards the right half forward guy. McKenna's down there. And he'll have a look towards Jason Ball territory. Garrick drops back into the square. Donnelly is also down. The Braden Lyle lead ignored. Banfield drifts back in towards the square as well. So there's plenty of them there. Clark was in front. At the back, they need it. Side up the ground. Yes. Drew Banfield gets his first. Maybe they can come.
They're not going to lay down. They're not going to lay down. McKenna a long time getting the ball forward. Clark, well, maybe should have gone a little bit harder with that 50. Got hand to ball. And Banfield off the ground. Real tight football.
So back in the middle, Fuster and Clark, a three-goal ball game. Big jump from Fuster. Kemp runs at it. Lovell getting some touches to Evans. Spins it around his body. Lewis knocks it on cleverly. Sets up Garrick and Blurton from 40 metres out. Blurton shoots and has missed.
Just come back out on the ground too. Covered himself in glory.
We'll go down to the boundary. Dwayne Lappin.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle, so a little bit tender, but he may take place and come back on later on.
Short back into play.
Troy Johnson's come back off. He's back on the bench too, Sandy.
Downs will also standing by to come back on. Kennedy from the back pocket. Another long bomb. That's what we expect from him. Flick towards the boundary line. Hart. Over. That being Sean Hart. Kicked the goal in the second quarter. Been very consistent now for some time. He missed the game last year.
Tristan Lynch, half-forward flank and coming off for the Eagles.
Clark tries to flick it round the back.
There's Andrew Donnelly. Downs are back on.
Courageous mark, running back with the flight of the ball. He gives it away to Mitchell White, who steadies, looks towards Braden Lyle. Gower at the top with a fist, but it's not effective this time. Strong mark taken by Lyle. To Hart on the defensive side of centre. A tumbly old wobbly punt. It lands on the chest of Michael Voss. Under 6 minutes remaining. This vital third term. Sean Hart created a bit of space. He's going to put them inside 50. Leppich was forced to try and spoil though, and is unsuccessful against McIntosh, who finds Lovell.
Randy Lovell, former Demon, now goes short to Kemp. Kemp has Evans running with great skill on the left-hand side. Really does set that player up. In the ball direction, Champion closes and does well. Through Clark's hand, Champion still coming, heads towards the boundary line, and Sean Hart is happy to see that over. And Mick Malthouse looks on.
Malcolm. Guy McKenna's now back on the half-back flank and he's picking up Darryl White.
In ruck, Garrick knocks it towards Lewis and out of bounds. So just on 5 minutes remaining, and it really has been a titanic struggle this quarter. The Bears just the 1 goal and Eagles 2. So they've just eked that margin back a little bit. Clark tries to thump it. Kemp works hard in underneath. And Lambert ties that up.
The Bears well up the ground. There's only 2 players, Leppich and Lynch, and they're right in the goal square. Dion Scott is on the edge of the square, so they're well up the ground, the Bears.
Matthew Clark, 12 hit-outs against the Eagles 4. That's clear hit-outs. Lewis forced it forward to Lovell onto his left foot. Pushed underneath the ball is ball. Yeah, he was pushed underneath the ball, and Champion sees it over the line.
The crowd in attendance here at the WACA tonight, and they're seeing an excellent contest. 4.5 minutes remaining. Third term. Clark at the back, got a hand to it and tries to get another one. He does. Goes towards Ashcroft. Kemp intercepts. Could have been held there.
He was. The umpire saw it.
Dean Kemp will take the kick.
See here, Kemp just not quite in control of the ball. Stripped of it by Ashcroft.
From 50 metres, the Norm Smith medalist from 1994. Goes with a long kick towards full forward, and it's shoveled over the line.
Is that a throw? Come on, I want an answer.
Well, the umpire said no.
Because the umpire said no.
I'm not asking the umpire, I'm asking you two.
He tapped it.
He tapped
Here's
it.
the replay, Don.
You watch.
He tapped it over the line.
He didn't tap it, he threw it. Look.
It's not the Lightning Premiership where you get 3 points for that, Don.
Well, anyway,
it should have been a free kick.
Play goes on. It's on the outer side, it's with Kennedy. He goes long and low from half-back up towards centre wing. Lambert and Hart contest, and it's over the line. $16 points the margin. Clark again. Kemp. Well done by Ben Kemp. Comes away to Fraser Garrick. Can't get there. It's over the line on the outer side. Jason Ball, the main goal kicker on the ground. He's got 5 to date from the throw-in. Evans gives it away. Main wearing down towards Garrick. A pretty quiet night, but he's got Dean Kemp, gets him inside. Dean Kemp is 50 metres out. Century kick, but what a smother. Is that Nick Voss?
It is.
Pushed out the back door again towards Champion. He gives it away towards Lambert, and Craig Lambert steadies. Goes towards the half-back flank. Clark a little late on the scene. He pounces now.
Sandy, that was an excellent smother because there were two options and Kemp was going to put the right in and he would have hit both options. Whichever one he wanted, he would have had. But what fantastic play by Dick Voss.
Clark and Downsborough almost held Downsborough then. Likewise, Lewis on Fletcher.
Oh.
In fact, it's going the other way.
He's clearly threw the ball out as he's tackled.
So Andy Lovell will take it and go down towards Drew Banfield. Voss is there with him on right half forward over the top to Jason Ball. Can he keep it in play?
Don, you haven't mentioned the little blue stripe boys tonight.
Oh, it's shocking. I mentioned it last week. These umpires, have a look at the central umpires with those ill-fitting shorts. They go back to the 50s. We've got one in long sleeves. It's a hot night.
Oh, here's a chance. Evans has to pick it up cleanly. He does. To Lovell. Under pressure kicks. Block.
Oh!
Goal. Yes. No, the umpire's actually called it back.
No, he's not paying advantage. He's got to go back for a kick.
Interesting call. I just thought he did dwell with it for a moment, but generally speaking, they let you play on. So umpire Peter Carey with the lovely shots, as you mentioned, Don.
Right, the short longs.
So Ashley Burton, big goal this. And has kicked it.
Brisbane leads by 10 points, 10-5, plays 8-7 with a couple of minutes remaining. Clark belts them down towards the half-forward line, but Mainwaring's in front of Kennedy. Lewis tidies up to Jakovich. The Rock of Gibraltar brings it back towards centre wing. Gow's got a hand to it. And the umpire.
Now, which way is he going to pay that?
Free kick. I think it might be going to Andy Gow's.
Well, there was 6 of one and a half dozen another because they were both holding.
It goes to Gow's on centre wing. Can the Bears reply? Can the Eagles get another one before three-quarter time? Jakovich across half-back.
Oh,
Goes
someone's
wide
done
to the
a knee.
other side.
Who is it?
That's not Guy McKenna, is it?
Oh, he's in pain.
Oh, I think maybe.
No. Right on the edge of the square, there he is. Oh, what rotten luck.
It is Guy McKenna.
Oh, no. Oh.
It could be a tragedy for him and the West Coast Eagles. I'm sure Dwayne Lamb will bring us up to date. Oh, he's in great pain.
Here's the replay. You see White flying. There. Oh, he could have just gone over on his knee, White, when he came down. Oh. It's a horrible sight, isn't it?
Now, they're holding this game up here at the moment, so they're just trying to assess the situation as he is placed
Really, the way
onto a stretcher. Looks in great pain. Holding the right knee. A tragedy for McKenna, who is one of the great players in the game.
I must have been just looking at the replay. I just missed that. Did you see it, Don?
Well, I didn't know whether he went across his leg, White, when he actually flew for the mark, came down, and then as he was coming down, came across McKenna's knee. But here it comes again. You watch White fly in front. McKenna's behind. There's White. McKenna behind. And not yet, but there, I think. That's where it happened, just there as he landed on.
Yeah.
So he goes down the race for immediate attention 3 times All-Australia, 91, 93 and 94, and the game goes on without Guy McKenna for the moment.
It's a couple of significant losses, isn't it, with both Worsfold and...
They've only got one left now.
With the side being down 10 points, close on quarter time. Kennedy went for some tunnel ball action out the back. Lambert's there. Kennedy went for another one. It didn't happen.
Good tackle.
Tackling has been sensational.
I said too high.
So Adrian Fletcher, who started with a helmet, is called to go long. Well,
now that is good umpiring. What
are you going to say, Don? Did you think
he's made some bad decisions tonight? That's Vernon. Graham
You just said
Burnett.
it was good umpire.
No, yes, because I thought he was going to give it against Lynch. Now, Lynch was holding before the ball was down in the vicinity, and he waved, and then he's picked up Mitchell White. Lynch was the offender.
Well, he's got the ball. That's all that matters from a Brisbane point of view. And inside the last minute, this is a very important kick for goal, and he's got it. So Lynch gets his third. He's kicked 2 in this term. And what a very handy goal, Don, with 30 seconds remaining to open up again a 16-point lead. And John Northey looking drained already.
Well, a very emotional game, isn't it? Football, but what wretched luck for the West Coast Eagles. Dwayne, what have you got down on the boundary line for us about Guy?
Well, as you can see, he's in a lot of pain, so there's no way he'll be back. They'll have to wait and see how much damage has been done, but he twisted as he came down.
So Clark wins it out of the centre. Mainwaring and Kennedy. Who was holding who? Don't worry about it, boys, says the umpire. Go on with it. So it's socket off the ground. Back towards Downsborough. Round his body towards Gehrig. And Fraser Gehrig marks in front. Thought about playing on. Wants to. Gets around his opposition in Bartlett. He's 60 metres out. He goes long and low, and he finds Lappin. Well, Ashley Blurton kicked a goal when he came off the bench earlier in this term, and he's got a chance after the siren to put his side within 10 points.
They really do need this.
John Northey quickly out onto the ground. Michael Malthouse and his team, somewhat depleted team with injuries. He watches Blurton from 35 metres.
No, I think there's an infringement. He's going to drag him.
He's going to bring him right down into the square. Or is it a goal anyway? He's got... So a very, very handy goal to Blurton on the siren, or after the siren. That is his second, 2 in that term. The Eagles stay in touch, but the margin is again 10 points. Mickey Malthouse says, over here, boys. Let's have a bit of a chat. Wherever you may be viewing this, don't go away in the final quarter, because this is a rip-roaring game of football, and it is still anyone's game. Brisbane are 11-5, 71. 10-point leaders over West Coast, 9-7, 61. Dramatic third quarter, but Brisbane still leads 11-5, 71 to the West Coast, 9-7, 61.
Today's match is part of the AFL Coca-Cola centenary season.
And dramatic it certainly was, that third quarter, with the Eagles losing one of their stars through injury. Guy McKenna left the ground with what looked to be a serious knee injury. And Don, let's have another look at this and see if we can find out just when and where it occurred.
Well, I thought it happened when he was actually coming down. Now, that's where I think it happened, but you see there White going and more or less going underneath McKenna and bringing his legs from underneath him.
Yeah, that looks exactly what happened, Don.
Well, I wonder if Dwayne Lamb's been able to find out any more news. Dwayne?
Dr. Ken Fitch has been with him the whole top three-quarter time break, and they're still looking at him, but it's pretty serious. I'm sure it's going to be a number of weeks. Not a good night for our knees. Johnny Worsfold, actually, it wasn't an ankle, it's a knee that he twisted as well, so not a good start. The Eagles have increased in intensity that quarter, and I think we've got a real game on our hands, so they're looking pretty good.
I'm going to assure you we've got a game on our hands, don't worry. This is a ripper. Anybody's game here at the WACA. Round 2, Saturday night football on 7 Sport. Glad you're doing the votes, Don, because that's going to be one of the toughest jobs of the night. Clark has done well. Chris Scott tried to tap it further forward. The first goal for either side is going to be absolutely vital. Mainwaring. Well, Gehrig got a little too far underneath it, then almost miraculously pulled it in. Gilbert was absolutely pinged.
These are reminiscent of those wretched games we used to participate in the 70s. North Melbourne and Hawthorn. They were always like this, weren't they? It just didn't happen once. It happened on numerous occasions.
Tough, uncompromising football. And
now Gilbert McAdam's in trouble too. Oh,
there'll be a knee count here soon. In the meantime,
he won't be coming back on.
Bartlett wanted Darryl White. He suggested he was pushed out, but Metropolis says no and gives it to Jakovich, who goes back in towards the centre. Lappin's got to stand his ground, and he does. Kennedy, a fresh air shot. Gee, it's tough in there. Kennedy comes away, but the whistle has sounded. Chris Lewis at the bottom of the pack.
Yes, the new boys on the block. The Brisbane Bears taking on one of the professional sides in the comp in the Eagles. Great tap from Downsborough. Set up Fuster. Kicks it towards the boundary line. Garrick with pace is able to claim that on the chest. And the Eagles press once more. Kick high. Front of the square. Great fist from behind and sock it off the ground for a point. So the first score of this last quarter go to the Eagles. That gap now to 9 points.
Well, actually, they're not really the new boys on the block. They've both been in the competition the same amount of time, so it's interesting.
Gowles brings it back into play. He wants Clark, who floated over the top of Downsborough but couldn't complete it. Socket clear. Back towards centre wing goes Garrett. Forced to take the hand pass. Clark is a busy worker. He's dumped over the line. We'll have a throw in. And Downsborough gets a couple of pats on the back for his effort. Any more news, Dwayne?
Yes, I feel like a yo-yo down here. McKennan's got a cork, so he will be back to participate at some stage.
Thanks, Dwayne. Dean Kemp out the back door. But goes across the ground. It slews off the side of the boat. Dick Voss and Fuster. Fuster paddles it forward. He's got him inside 50. Ashcroft does the shepherding work. Could have almost been a free kick to Dick Voss. He almost took his head off. Ball goes backwards towards Matera. Now he's outside 50. He can go to Kemp. Dean Kemp's got a bit of time, a bit of space. He goes short, but it's too short.
He's not a bad player,
Dick Voss takes the mark. No. From half back. Drifts it up towards centre wing. Fletcher's been busy. Couldn't take it on that occasion. Darryl White sockers it off the ground and then chases again over the line.
Tom, just going back to that new kids, it's really that they're now starting to emerge at this level.
Yes, exactly right, because they got a rotten deal when they started, all the casts off the Victorian clubs, and they're in a really non-football state.
Yes. Interesting free kick given to Matthew Clark. So right on centre wing. Not a lot of movement up forward. Comes now from Lepich with a real long lead. That won't get to that player. Scott, one-hander.
He's
clever.
A worker, isn't he, at centre-half forward. And he's on a good player too in Jakovich. Very good overhead, Scott. Look, he's holding his ground there. Good effort.
So Dion Scott. 44 games now, starting to creep up.
Big kickers.
And he's going to kick from 55 metres. Generally not a bad kick. Gets underneath it a bit. It's just going to fall short, pushing and shoving on the line. And a great contest from all players.
I didn't remember that he was going to kick that, Sandy.
No, I said big kick.
Lambert now with Hart. We've tried a few players on Lambert, and Hart's just quiet Craig Lambert.
Watch out for Darryl White here. I wonder if we try and do something.
White.
Look at this. Oh. Look at this. He is such a watching from the goal. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a magical player he is, and fortunately that's the point back. So this game's still in the balance. Great contest here at the WACA.
Here's 10 points the margin. Who are you tipping, Donald?
I really don't know. I've got to give the votes and I can't pick a vote.
Well, it's Mitchell White who's going to bring it back into play. Jakovich stood his ground and will soccer clear. He'll go down towards centre wing. Gowles edged out. Now Braden Lyle's got a chance to run here. Although Fletcher's right on his hammer, he breaks the tackle, he gives the hand pass away. The Bears now, however, have the numbers and a chance to repel it and bring it back once again. Hart gives it out. A chance now for Marcus Ashcroft to go wide to the outer side. He does so to Voss. Voss has a look down towards White. And he marks just inside the line. 70 metres from home is Darryl White, a centering kick because he's got Tristan Lynch right across at half forward. And the youngster, what a night for him.
He puts it up high, he's got White running.
Picked up in the pre-season draft. Comes from Sale. He goes for the pass and he's found Darryl White.
He could have gone longer with that kick if he was a little quicker because White was running into space. But anyway, he still found him, and the boy, who, as I mentioned earlier, started at Sale. He was drafted by Collingwood, played the last 2 years on Richmond's SUP list, has finally got his go at Brisbane Bears.
I'm delighted to be reunited with John Northey as Darryl White, the boy from the Pioneers in Alice Springs. 40 metres out. This is a very, very important shot for goal, and he's got it.
Who's now asked the challenge. Dick Voss out to Gowers. Tries to screw the ball back. Mainwaring sits underneath. Gets a hand on it. Falls to the ground. Fletcher to Voss. Kicks the ball forward. Wide. Almost. Evans caught high and will take a free kick. Actually, it was great from Darryl White before. He was the one that took the ball out wide and then made the secondary lead. Fantastic play. That's hard working. It's a great sign for Darryl White. This is Mitchell White. Kicks in front of Gehrig and can't control it and out of bounds. So a 16-point margin, sort of average between this 10 and 20-odd points for most of the game. When the Bears kicked clear early, 4-0 early, and the Eagles have tried to peg it back most of the night. Falls to Lynch again. Tristan Lynch this is, and he goes for the safety of the boundary line. And so his first kick was great to Darryl White. His second kick, a great defensive play. McDownsborough and Clark. Clark's worked manfully again. Tries to tap it over the back. Lovell caught. Downsborough tries to force it with his body. Out to Sean Hart. Hart from 55 metres. The ball swinging back. It's a goal. I think he shepherded this through. Great play. So second goal to Sean Hart, and Justin Leppich just forced it back, and the 13 goals now to Brisbane, and the margin extended by the Bears.
I think I'm out of the knockout competition at work. I thought the Eagles are going to be a certainty.
That's a top kick.
Oh.
Isn't that good work? Where Leppich just made himself push him back.
I don't know, Sandy, do you think the fat lady's going to get up and start singing soon? I can see her on the outer stand.
She's asked for a gargle from the centre. It's not over yet, though. Now, look at them go. From the middle. Lovell tried to get it out, was unsuccessful finding his teammate. Tristan Lynch finds Darryl White. And he has turned out to be something of a hero here with his
floats
amazing
across that half forward line. You know, you've got the worker in Scott, and you've got this man who just floats.
He chips this. The lead is on. Alistair Lynch recovers. He's caught. Loses the football. It comes towards Metropolis, who gives it to Chris Lewis. Lewis to Mainwaring. Gets away from Lynch and goes back to take the kick. Still plenty of time if they're good enough. There's 13 and a half minutes remaining. Mainwaring goes back to Metropolis. Been on and off the bench tonight. And Metropolis will head towards Fraser Gehrig. Michael Voss is there. He almost threw it out to Fletcher, caught one high. Gee, he's a worker, this boy. Adrian Fletcher.
Look at Hart. He's running again, the little fellow will probably get this.
Lewis may intercept. He does, and he takes a wonderful mark.
Play on.
So around the body he goes to Dean Kemp. And Kemp is just forward of the centre wing. Fletcher, 22 possessions. Sean Hart has also been busy. Dick Voss. And over the line for another throw. Up against Fuster on that occasion.
Here's Lewis. Hart really had this set up here, but what an excellent effort. Look at Lewis. Just stuck the hand up.
Fletcher, Voss cleverly taps it back towards himself. Ability to recover is unbelievable. White can't see it in the lights. Now tries to grab it one-handed. Somehow or other, Scott tries to get a kick onto it. Falls out to Blurton. Blurton chips it. Kemp has to sit and wait. Clark comes across the top of him. Then sets up a handball out in front of Bartlett. Bartlett has to run hard. Matera's in hot pursuit. Gowers does the shepherding. Presence of mind to try and chip it, but unfortunately the ball's ended up wide, and the Eagles will come back again. Comes back inside. Donnelly, 45 metres out. Will kick from 50. Looks for Lewis. Now goes back. Kicks. Last roll of the dice here, is it? Yes, I think it's there. Donnelly's got a goal, and the Eagles are back in it.
Lately I've been thinking about setting up the world's best metal supplier and calling it Mervland. With 125 stores Australia-wide and the country's widest range of steel, aluminium and metal building products. With the best deals from top suppliers like BHP, Tube Makers, Smorgon, Alcan and Waratah. I'm surprised no one's thought of doing this before. Whoops, only kidding. Even I know you can't better Metalland. No kidding.
Donnelly's first goal means that Don Scott's still in the tipping competition. And we've still got an anyone's game here at the WACA from the middle. Hart tries to get it out of the centre. He's still going, but look at them pounce upon him.
Look, I can't understand in a tight game like this why the two teams are not manning up in the centre.
Well, I think man up, you get pushed off. You just need to be a metre or so away, so you've got a chance to actually...
One side lines up one side of the square, you know, in the circle. Not a contest tonight.
Lewis overruns it. Voss gets it out to his teammate in Tristan Lynch, who goes down towards Dion Scott, tried to take it with the one hand. Jakovich sucks off the ground towards Dean Kemp, but look out because here comes Darryl White, both fearless. They lose it. It opens a path for Fraser Garrick. Sean Hart chases. Garrick continues to run. Fraser Garrick is on 50. He's on 45. He's on 40. Fraser Garrick, and he's pulled up. One behind, isn't it, out of bounds, and Richard Champion comes away.
He's got to bring it all the way back.
Yes, don't kick it, Sean Hart. Back it comes. So no score.
Now, didn't he go over? He would have played on behind the mark then.
What a run by Fraser Garrick.
Look at this.
Oh, what a disappointing result. Reminiscent of almost a Phil Massler, wasn't it, in a grand final?
Sadly away.
But unfortunately, the result wasn't the same.
Richard Champion. 10-8 plays 13-6. Champion's kick was looking for Clark. Donnelly taken out of it. And they're going to keep it down in their possession because Clark has it. Eagles fans don't like it. But Clark will kick towards Darryl White. He went up too early. Fraser Garrick read it back. Plays on quickly to Jakovich. Bartlett chases, but Jakovich gets his kick. Oh, ball went up too early. Fused it towards the line, and it's over.
Tim Garrick has actually been moved on to Darryl White, Tom, so he's actually run from half-back flank.
Fuster gets in front of his teammate Jason Ball. Here's a chance for Braden Lyle off the side of the boot towards Drew Banfield, spoilt by Chris Scott. Tony Evans, a hurried snap, and that is away to the left, and that is out of bounds on the full. So a couple of chances for the Eagles, and they've just been unable to take advantage of them.
Yes, you feel the next goal just might break this game open one way or another. If the Bears can get it, I think they might be home, but at this stage the Eagles are really pressing. Just under 10 minutes now. Kick. Big pack. Huge pack. Donnelly tries to spin, then can't get out of the trouble. Ball falls free.
Oh, desperate.
Voss was just absolutely sensational in tight. Lappin runs it towards the boundary line and pushes it towards 50. And the Bears are quite happy for that ball to be right there.
Listen, football has changed over the years, there's no doubt about that, but really what hasn't changed is pressure, and I don't care where or what time it is, when real pressure is applied, players react in the same way since the year dot.
Fuster with a fantastic belt to Lyle, swings back, under pressure, gives it up. Donnelly over his head, a miracle goal, and he's kicked that.
Remaining 10 points the margin as Evans finds Kemp, and the Eagles are finding something here at the WACA. Kennedy drops it, but he's quick to recover. Floats it straight back to Evans, however. Tony Evans has Hart going past. Kicks up towards a blurting man of the moment. Gowes is there with him.
It was a good effort by Gowes.
Lyle taken out of it, and it allows Michael Voss time to find Lappin on the outer side. Gives it to Scott. He's caught. He's able to get a hand pass away towards Voss, but now it's the Eagles applying the pressure. He gives it back to Dick Voss, who looks down towards centre wing. Good strong mark taken by Fletcher. He's been sensational. Adrian Fletcher's going to put them inside 50. Can the Bears answer? Darryl White, the magician! What a game! What a game! Darryl White has now booted 4, Donald. And they don't come any better.
Well, listen, when we talk about in front in pressure games, watch this. Now he's in front, he's the first to recover. Look, White there first to recover because all he was in front. His opponent did the right thing in Garrick punching the ball forward, but White was in front, recovered. Oh, this is a real pressure game. This is what football's all about.
I just think that the Bears have grown a hell of a lot on a game like today. Or tonight, I should say. They really can learn something from this about the will to win and the good believing they're good enough. It's more important.
Look at that. Players just intent on getting the ball. That's all you can do. There's White in front again.
To Gowers. To Lynch. I think they're home, the Bears.
Well, there's 8 minutes to go.
Yes, but the pressure the Eagles had applied, just clean handling again, and great finish there from Gowers.
Lambert's hurt himself too.
And Alistair Lynch kicks, and it's just pushed it a bit close. There's not a lot of noise at the back. The Bears are clapping. 4th goal to Alistair Lynch, and the Bears are home.
Well, Lynch has kicked 4, White's kicked 4. And here it is, Lambert getting hurt there. He's in the hands of the trainers for a while, but he shook them off. And that's a great lead.
Oh,
there he is.
This is great stuff for the Bears. I mean, the Eagles have been manful, but brilliant, the Bears.
Back in the middle with under 8 minutes remaining. There's still time, don't worry. Mainwaring. Kennedy right on him. Look at the tackle by Kennedy. Blurton gets it out towards Jakovich. He does, Don, don't worry. Up towards Fuster, who gave away a free kick going too early.
There's nothing offering down the ground. Everybody's still manned up.
Trent Bartlett. It's towards left half forward. McIntosh under plenty of pressure, but he's quick to pick it up. Look towards Chris Lewis. He needs help, so he paddles it towards the line. And Lambert helps it on.
He leaves it deliberate.
Well, incredible.
Boy, picked them up.
So it's Evans who kicks down towards half forward. It's not over yet, Don. Champion gives it away to Lambert. Nothing deliberate over the line there. Dion Scott went too early on. McIntosh takes the mark. Could have gone short to Fraser Garrick, but elects to go long at a half forward. Gars the flyer. Blurton waits down. Oh, he got pinked with one hand.
Off the ball. Look at Champion.
Yes. Loses it to Matera. And now Hart. And Kemp gets it out to Blurton. This is unbelievable. Donnelly's down there as well. Andy Lovell comes in.
Oh.
Chris Scott's feeling the heat and will have a bounce. Just over 6 remaining.
Yeah, Don, I just think that the Bears are getting the ball out the centre equally. So if they do get a goal kick against them, I think with the time allotted, I think they can get it out the centre and do it again. Clark's done very well again. Champion, caught, tries to kick it out wide. Socket off the ground by Gowers. Running at it is Evans, stays down low. Kennedy misses him. Now forced to kick on his right foot. Heroes wanted here from the Eagles. Dick Voss goes hard at it. Great pressure down there, 40 metres out from the Eagles' goal. And once again, defensive work from the Bears is terrific.
This game hasn't stopped, has it? From the first.
No, we try not to in our game, Don, I can assure you that. We try and let it flow. Most of the rules are built that way. Clark tries to tap it back to Lambert, read by Kemp. And a whole pack of players, and a free kick has been found. And Michael Voss goes back and goes out wide. Tristan Lynch runs around the outer side, kicks the ball long. Hart underneath it, Jakovich runs through to the back. Players overrun it. Now comes out to the Eagles. Jakovich clever, gets up to Banfield. Banfield kicks to centre half forward.
The Eagles desperately needing a goal. Dick Voss defending grandly, however, pushes towards the boundary line. He's got assistance and plenty of it. This is Tristan Lynch again. What a night for him to come onto the ground and play as he has. It's a night he'll remember for a long time. Darryl White forced to defend from behind. Lappin waiting down in front. Sees it over the boundary line. 4.5 minutes remaining. And Don is just starting to do the votes. I wish you well, my friend.
I've got the numbers 3, 2 and 1, but I need a little bit of help from here on.
It will be a significant win, their first ever here in Perth.
And, well, their first ever against the Eagles. The best they've ever managed is a draw. out of 14 attempts. So last week they defied the record books against Footscray, and it looks as though they're going to do it tonight as well.
Beaten 2 finalists, 2 from last year.
Yeah, right. On the outer side, Scott paddles it wide. Fletcher sees it over the line. Andy Lovell there as well for the West Coast Eagles. So this crowd now suddenly a little hushed. And some starting to file out of the WACA Ground, realising that the visitors who've made the longest trek in football, there is none longer, are going to take away the premiership points. Bartlett chasing with the same endeavour that all players from both sides have shown tonight. It's been quite outstanding.
Yes, and the Bears play Richmond next Saturday at the Gabba too, which will be great. And the Eagles have to go to Waverley to play Essendon. So 2 blockbusters all of a sudden.
And we'll be in Brisbane.
Go. Good kick. It's a long kick. Falling to the square. Players push back. And touched over the line. So the Eagles get a point. And the Bears really just now playing out time. Kick short. Goes to Bartlett. And has to redo all that again.
Yeah, listen, you two. Don't sit on the fence. I need a hand.
Clark's been fantastic.
Yeah, well,
Fletcher's been fantastic.
I've given Clark a vote.
Darryl White's
I've given him a vote. I need someone else. Come on, Blighty.
Yeah, hang on, Matera. He's got the ball. I love watching him play. Matera from 55 metres in grand finally kicked 4 of those, but this one unfortunately falls short, and Gowers takes the mark. Plays on. Oh, there's plenty of Bears there, and Lappin kicks it towards the boundary line, and unfortunately out on the full.
So he'll bring it back. The time, I think, is against the West Coast Eagles now. Drew Banfield's going to bring it back into play. There's just on 3 minutes remaining. John Northey is way up here in the stratosphere with us, and it'll be interesting to see when he makes his way down, because his side are going to be victorious. And that whimpering you can hear in the background is Don and Mal arguing over the votes. It's extraordinary.
He's a big boy. He can make his own decisions.
Jakovich couldn't take it. Oh, look at Fletcher give away the hand pass to Voss. Sensational. Voss is running towards 50. From 55, he looks towards Lappin. If you want a sealer, then this could be it. Justin Lappin will have a shot just 20 metres out. He kicked 1 goal in the second quarter. The young boy from the Southern Stingrays can cover himself in glory with 2.5 minutes remaining.
Played in the Hawthorn under-19s tour, their Eye squad.
The shot from Justin Leppich looks pretty good. The Bears are home here at the WACA.
And hasn't he improved too? Over the years, he was a skinny kid when he went up there, just like Chapman and also Nigel Lappin. He's certainly matured into a very good footballer. Gives them a bit of life. He came on when Roger Merrett went off injured. And there's Leppich wearing that great number 23.
Yes, the Eagles...
he had to get it in.
Just struggling a bit. They've got a lot of youngsters. As I said, both sides are about the same sort of experience. And the Bears are really on a roll. Won 6 of their last 8 games last year. Now have won the opening 2. So that's pretty good form. And as I think we all thought, Don, at the time, that probably Carlton were the hotter side last year, and they only went down by a couple of kicks in the end in that final, that elimination final at the MCG last year. So their form has been sensational. Clark, clever to Fletcher. 2 very good players for the Bears again. Kicks it high. Leppich pushes back. McIntosh pushes him underneath it. And then rushes the point. And it has been allowed. The umpire called it that he tapped it. I almost thought he was going to say he threw it. Do you think he threw it then, Don?
I was just pondering on the depth of the Brisbane side, actually. When you got Troy Clark, who's got a knee, he'll be coming back soon. You got McLean out with a calf. Just wonder how much further down the list they go.
Craig McRae.
Oh, McRae, who's not there tonight.
Not even there. So there's certainly some depth there as Jakovich has it.
Michael McLean.
We mentioned him.
Oh, sorry. Welcome back, Blight. Unlike half forward. And the pressure's getting to everyone. Donnelly marks. Into half forward towards ball, Blurton and co, but floating across in front is Trent Bartlett. Cool as a cucumber, if you don't mind. He gives it to another youngster who's got Brownlow written all over him. Michael Voss up towards Kennedy, who marks between the centre wing and the half-back flank. Just over a minute remaining now. It's academic. But this is a big, big win for the Brisbane Football Club and one of the greatest in its short history. Yes, the only time they've got close is with a draw. That was some 4 years ago. 14 attempts they've had. So I'm sure that Peter Blooper and the boys are probably all watching back there in Brisbane will be over the moon with this performance. Jakovich up towards the 50. Donnelly couldn't take it. He recovers to get the hand pass to Braden Lyle. 40 metres from home. He's away to the right and another behind.
Interesting though, that the year they drew in '92, they had a wobbly start that year, Eagles, and then went on and progressed, and of course we all know it won the premiership. Great.
Don't feel too badly. Kick back into play, and the mark taken by Bartlett. Game of possession now, as far as the Bears are concerned. Pretty quiet crowd. That one went out of bounds on the full for Andy Gow, so Peter Matera will take it. And John Northey still hasn't left his post up here. He'll be getting down to the ground, I'd imagine, fairly smartly.
He's had a quiet night, hasn't he?
Matera.
By his standards.
Yeah. And they are lofty standards. He goes short.
He's done all right, actually.
Well, Jason Ball at one stage kicked their entire score of 4 goals. He's got 5 for the night.
The man that used to kick all the goals, Peter Sumich, I watched today on the television, was playing centre half back as the siren goes, and there's a happy Brisbane fan. Their first win ever.
Against this side. And let's see if Jason Ball can finish with 6 goals for the night. He's 42 metres out. It's a drop punt that is high. It's pretty close, and it's a behind. So this is a very, very exciting victory for the Brisbane Bears. Disappointment for the West Coast Eagles, but both sides are to be congratulated on a sensational game of football. John Northey and his men now head down to greet the players. It's a margin eventually, let me see, Don, 26 points, 16-7, 103, Brisbane. Excellent kicking for goal, and their main contributors were Darryl White, who booted 4, Alistair Lynch, who booted 4, Adrian Fletcher and Justin Leppich, along with Sean Hart, 2 apiece. Too good for the West Coast Eagles. They finished with 11-11, 77. Their main goal kickers, well, we mentioned Jason Ball. He finished with 5. Ashley Blurton booted 2, both in the third quarter. Andrew Donnelly booted 2.
The interesting thing, too, off camera there, just watching the players go across and congratulate each other. It's reminiscent of boxers after a bout of, you know, they just got tremendous respect for one another, and that's the way the football was played today. And you can hear the ovation that the Eagles are getting as they walk off the ground, because it was a terrific game of footy.
Let's hear more now from Dwayne Lamb.
Thanks very much, guys. I've got Craig Lambert with me. Well done, mate. Certainly a big win, your first against the Eagles.
Yeah, it was, Dwayne. It was, you know, we've come close the last couple of years against the Eagles. They're a fantastic side, and to beat them over here, you know, we're ecstatic.
The boys are pretty pumped up from the word go. Obviously very happy under John Northey.
Yeah, Swoop's settled in really well, you know, taking over from Wolsey where he left off, and, you know, players are pretty committed at the moment. You know, after the finals last year, you know, we just want to sort of get a form up early. You know, we got a good one early, so it's going to be tough on the way. So, yeah, as I said, we're just happy with that. He's got you looking very slick and close, you know, at the packs, you know, particularly winning all the balls early around the place with guys like yourself, Voss and so on. Is that something you work at training? Yeah, we work in and close, but I mean, the difference this year is we're, you know, just trying to get on the boot a bit quicker. You know, eliminate that handball where there's a chance for an error, and, you know, it's coming off at the moment. And the side's looking pretty complete now. You know, your big men are taking marks, and you got the blokes at the foot of the pack, so you'd be happy all round. Yeah, we tonight we didn't have many weaknesses. I think you know, that's a good sign for us. But we're going to maintain that intensity, and you know, if we can do that, we should be pretty hard to beat anywhere, I reckon. And what about Big Rogers? How's he going? He came off with a slight hamstring, I believe. So hopefully back next week. Well, the old fella doesn't do much at training, so he should be right. He'll be right next week, I reckon. Congratulations again, mate. Play well and enjoy the win.
Roger will appreciate that. But there it is, a fantastic win to the Brisbane Bears. The final scoreline here at the WACA Ground, they're very quick to desert it, I might add too, has seen the Brisbane Bears victorious to the tune of 26 points. 16-7. Too good for the West Coast Eagles. 11-11. And they file away. But one of the best games you could hope to see, Don.
Oh, it was terrific, Sandy. Even when the Bears were walking off the ground, they got an ovation from the crowd. And that's really, well, it's significant because of the fact that when they did actually kick a goal, this crowd didn't acknowledge. They're very parochial, but at least they recognised the efforts of a real fighting effort from the Bears tonight. And that was terrific to hear from this very parochial crowd.
Let's go down to the rooms because I'm sure the boys are going to be in full voice. Yes, well, they were the greatest team tonight, no question about that. And something to ponder during the break. Next week at the Gabba, it's Robert Walls up against John Northey. They swapped sides over the summer. We'll take a break more shortly.
Final scoreline here at the WACA shows victory to Brisbane, their first win ever over the West Coast Eagles.